Hi and welcome back to the Sitefinity Next.js series. In this video, we're going to build a custom hero widget from scratch with image and page selector. We'll start simple, add features incrementally, and by the end, you'll have a fully functional and styled hero widget that you can adapt for your own project. Let's get started. All right, first things first, we need to tell Sitefinity what kind of information our hero widget will hold. This is done in an entity file. Think of it as the blueprint of our widget's properties. We are in our Sitefinity Next.js project, and I have a hero folder inside widgets where I'm creating a hero entity file. We'll start by defining properties for heading, subheading, and some main content text. So, what's happening here? The widget entity decorator officially tells Sitefinity that this is a widget entity with name and display caption hero. Then, for each piece of text, heading, subheading, and content, we're defining them as nullable strings. Notice the data type decorator specifying the type. For the content field, we have used HTML. This is super handy because it tells Sitefinity to give us a rich text editor in the backend for this field. And the content container decorator is important for enabling features like rich text editing and ensuring these fields can be picked up by Sitefinity's search if needed. Okay, Sitefinity now knows what data our widget needs. Next, let's create the React component that will actually display this data. This is our view file. For now, we'll just get the text properties and render them, but there is a crucial step here: security. We need to sanitize any HTML content. So, we're getting our entity which holds the properties. The data attributes from HTML attributes props are super important. They allow Sitefinity's page editor to interact with our widget in edit mode. Then we get an instance of the sanitizer service and uses sanitize HTML method. This cleans any potential harmful scripts from the input, which is vital for preventing cross-site scripting attacks. Then we use dangerously set inner HTML. The name sounds scary, but because we have already sanitized the HTML, it's now safe to render. This allows any formatting from the rich text editor in our content field, like bold text or lists, to be displayed correctly. Sitefinity doesn't know our widget exists yet. We need to register it. We do that in the widget registry file. We first need to import the hero entity and the hero view and add an entry for our hero widget where we set the component type, the entity, and SSR set to true is great because our view component is async, enabling server-side rendering. The editor metadata title is what the content editor will see in the widget toolbox as the title of the widget. Let's have a quick look at the available editor metadata properties and what we can define for our widget. If we leave it as it is, the widget will show at the bottom of the toolbox after all other components. We want it to show under the basic section, so we add the category section and set it to content and then set the section to basic. With that saved, let's jump into the Sitefinity backend. And there it is, our hero widget is in the toolbox under the basic section. We have our heading, subheading, and content fields with the rich text editor for the content. Let me quickly type something in. And our currently unstyled text appears correctly sanitized. Text is great, but the hero widget usually needs a striking image, so our next step is to add an image selector back in hero entity, where we'll add a new property for the image. The type mixed content context sets the property to behave as an item selector that can work with different types. Let's quickly see the properties of the mixed content context. It has the selected item IDs and the content which contains the type and the variations contain the source, which is the provider name. Back to the entity, where we use the content decorator specifying the content type to be images using the non-content types enumerator, and allow multiple item selection false because we only want one hero image. Now let's update our view to fetch and display this image. We get selected image ID and the selected image source, which is the provider name, from our entity image property. We define our image item, and if an image is selected, we use a REST client getItem with fallback method. This is a powerful method from the SDK that fetches all the details for that image, like its URL, alternative text, and even available thumbnails. We are also passing the culture to ensure we fetch the correct version of the image if the site is multilingual. Once we have the selected image item, we can display it using an image tag and its URL. If you have thumbnails set in your Sitefinity project, you can use a specific thumbnail profile by its name. We are going to use the thumbnail with name SM for the hero image. Back in Sitefinity, I'll edit our widget, and there is our image field. I can select an image from the libraries. And yes, our image is showing up. We are making progress. Most hero sections have a call to action button, and we are going to add one in our hero widget. We are back to the Visual Studio Code, and in our entity we add two properties for the page selector for the call to action link and a text field for the button's text. Similar to the image, we use content, but this time with non-content types pages for our CTA link and a simple string CTA text for the button label. Now let's update the view. We sanitize the CTA. Again, a similar pattern, get the selected page ID, then use REST client getItem to fetch the page item. This gives us access to properties like view URL, which is the actual URL of the selected page. Then if we have both the page item and the CTA text, we render an anchor tag. Back in Sitefinity, edit the widget again, and we have our CTA link page selector and CTA text field. Let's pick up a page and add some button text, save, and there is our link. Functionally, our widget is complete, but it doesn't look very nice yet, does it? Let's add some CSS to make it shine. For this demo, I'm going to use CSS modules, which is a great way to scope styles locally to your component in Next.js. In Hero module CSS file I created on the same level as the view component, I will paste in some styles I prepared earlier. If you want to take a look at the styles, you can check the post for the Hero widget published on our enzodx.com website. I will leave a link in the description below. We import styles from Hero module CSS and then apply classes like styles.hero_wrapper or styles CTA button. Next.js will automatically generate unique class names, preventing style conflicts. And now, if we look at the Sitefinity backend and refresh the page, that looks so much better. We have a well-structured, visually appealing hero widget with our text, image, and call to action button, all styled up and responsive too. And that's it. We have successfully built a custom hero widget in Sitefinity. This is just a starting point, of course. You could extend this with more fields, different layouts, or more complex interactions. But hopefully this gives you a solid foundation for building your own custom Sitefinity Next.js widgets. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more tutorials, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video of our Next.js series.